I'm grateful to be here at this conference, and it has been so much more successful than we would have hoped. We came needing to find near 200 million in commitments to build the vision of a stronger Ukraine where people can move forward and have affordable rent and homes that they own. We put this vision in front of many people here at the conference, and I can tell you this conference has been a dream come true. I'd like to mention some of the key people that have helped us and have made commitments to go forward. From the Philips Company, Olesha Strak and Miroslav Saban have given donations towards the medical clinics in a very large way. We want to thank the Philips Company. DFC, Agnes Dasevich and Tony Polak are fully committed to reaching a major funding goal to help people achieve home ownership through a rent-to-own program and a reduced rent. Instead of paying $300 a month rent, people with limited incomes recovering from the war would pay half rent and give them a chance to live in dignified housing affordably. We have with EBRD, Irina Kravchenko and Oleg Fedulin have been more than helpful and spent the evening with us strategizing how they can bring their resources to this very project, and we're grateful to them. I met an angel in the flesh in Lena Kosarny that runs Horizon Capital in Kiev and Chicago, and I know we have now found a capital partner and a lender and an advocate that will be with us at every step of the way, and I'm grateful to this conference for bringing us together. We have here my dear friend for the last 3 years, Lesha Karnyuk. I work on that because I got to get the uke right, Karnyuk every time, and Ruslan Kravchenko. Is Ruslan here? Ruslan is the governor of Kiev, and I can tell you that they have been instrumental in helping us get through all of the necessary red tape to build these programs, and they've been with us every step of the way ethically. Again, I want to thank the U.S. State Department. We met with the top official, of the U.S. Department today for an hour, Richard Verma, and again, we got an outstanding pledge of support from the U.S. government. So I am grateful for this conference. I had no idea we would meet so many people that are so committed and so ready to work to fill out the program that we see for a better Ukraine. I'm not going to speak about the programs here. I want to speak about the people, and I want to invite Petro to come up. Is he here, Petro? I'm going to have Petro stand here with me, and I'm going to tell you Petro's story. I'm going to tell you 2 stories, and that will be my speech. When we opened Hansen Village, the first 4 people to move in, 3 were prisoners that had been released from Avastal, that the Russians had taken over the steel mill in Mariupol, and they had been prisoners for about 16 to 18 months. And they were defeated, skinny, traumatized, and out of work. I can tell you all 3 of them today have jobs, are optimistic and moving forward. But there was one family, the very first family that moved in, and that was Petro's wife, Olena, and his 3 children, 2 daughters and a 10-year-old son. I'll never forget the 10-year-old son looking in his eyes as he moved in, the loss of not having a father. When they moved into the village, we did not know if he was alive. We did not know if he was still there. We had no information, but we all prayed. And I can tell you that 3 months ago, he was returned in a prisoner exchange and came back to his family. So from total devastation, they both have a job, their children are in school, and they are looking for ways to move on with their lives. I have seen firsthand from total devastation, total loss and pain to coming back. But I want to tell you one more story that's important as I go to my next point. When we met, he could not speak. We were in a luncheon a month after he returned, and his speech was very broken, very stuttered, and he had been tortured for 24 months daily. People that stay behind or are left behind in prisons, in occupied territories, or in Russian control are like Holocaust victims to me. They are part of the genocide of destroying the Ukrainian race, and we cannot be silent. I have seen firsthand over 600 people, families from the occupied territories, come into our villages, and I am horrified at what I have had to see. I'm going to share one example. Some of you have heard it because I've said it before. In August, we moved a mother, 42 years old, and her 19-year-old daughter into the village in a traumatized state. They were in Zaporizhia, and they had refused a Russian passport. The mother was taken to the basement, beat with a stick, stripped naked, and they hooked electrodes to her genitals and her breasts and shocked her until she was unconscious. They then took her daughter and raped her, and then threw them in a dark cell for 2 days before releasing them to a citizen group that had worked to get them released from captivity. 3 weeks later, they found their way to Hansen Village, and I was able to hold them and cry with them through the torture that they had received from this evil, evil empire in Russia that can have, that for me, can never be trusted at all. Now, as we talk of settling and giving land for peace, we cannot give people for peace. There are 4 million Ukrainians trapped in the occupied territories. While we're here in a comfortable conference in our suits and with good food, 4 million Ukrainians suffer daily at the hands of the FSB and the Russian occupiers. We all have to stand together to demand that they are released in any settlement. We cannot leave 4 million Ukrainians in the occupied territories that would like to return to Ukraine. Our real mission is to have the housing, the communities that they can move to free Ukraine and become productive parts of Ukraine again. That is what this conference is for me, is to find housing and a place for refugees and occupied Ukrainians to return to free Ukraine. And we should all stand for that, and that is why I will give everything. Like the founding fathers in America, that when they declared independence, they declared that they would sacrifice their fortunes, their sacred honor for the sake of freedom. I make a similar pledge to my Ukrainian brothers and sisters. I will sacrifice all for your freedom, because this is what it means. Thank you.